What is up, guys and gals? Welcome to episode number 160 of the Nonsense Review. That's right, phone us up for Dial-A-Disc.
Dial-A-Disc? Oh boy, that's a long time ago.
Rick, it stopped being a thing before I was born, and I believe it was around for about 5 years of your life, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, what was it, Radio 1 was it?
No, it's the post office.
Oh, the post office!
So
boy.
you could dial 160 on your phone, and they would play one song on loop for the entire day that was on the charts. And of course, it was a premium phone number, so you had to pay like fucking 50p a minute.
Yeah, oh man. And this was when 50p a minute was a solid chunk of change.
Yeah, it was a fucking rip-off. As most premium numbers still are to this day.
Yes.
That's about the only interesting thing I can think of the number 160.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm your host as always, Devon, and joining me equally as always, as mentioned, is Rick.
Hello everybody.
Now today we're doing something, I wouldn't say different, probably long overdue, because at least I've been aware of its existence, I've just never bothered to watch it.
Yeah, I've been so aware of its existence, I clicked on it once, it sent me straight to episode 2, so I've not even seen the episode we're going to see today.
So yeah, today we're doing Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, but before we get into that, those of you familiar with the show probably already know we like to talk about our weeks and the goings-on in the wide universe. So with that in mind, Rick, how's your week been, buddy?
I've done mostly games. I rolled credits on Monster Hunter and finally hit the brutally... not so much tough, but like enemies are long master rank in Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Well, because they're just fucking meat sponges. It's so fucking not fun.
Yeah, there's no way to outscale that amount of HP. They're just Stormbloods all the time. But oh well, this is how you get the cool looking things. I finished my chicken leg run of Dark Souls 2. It was going to be a no resting run, but I accidentally muscle memoried one of the bonfires, so that broke. I'm now about 5 hours into Persona 3 Reload, and...
Oh, that's why you've been sharing screenshots. I was wondering why you were sharing stuff.
Like, I will say other Personas have the advantage, because in Persona 3, the plot is there are Personas, and then the emergent plot comes from that. In the others, there is already a plot, and it's partly because there are Personas.
Yeah, I mean, I've not played 3, I've played 4 and 5, and that's accurate for 4 and 5.
Yeah, so, like, they learnt from that for 4 and 5, and that's basically why I prefer 4 and 5 as games. But with all the polish that they put on this, it's difficult to ignore the charm, and I'm liking some characters a lot more than I did the first time round. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's the benefit of maturity. Other things, there is going to be a private server for PSO2, a game that's still active and still working. However, it's the base game that they're doing a private server for, and the base game is something that's been abandoned for about 3 years. Lastly, a friend of mine is a VTuber. She's currently a PNG tuber. She's having a live 2D on the 2nd of April. That's her debut.
So for those of you watching along at home, that would be tomorrow as of this episode coming out.
Yeah, so her name is Alakea Maxwell. She's on Twitch. If you'd like to give her a check out, great. But yeah, that's about it for me. How about you? How has your week been, and what have you seen in the wide world?
Well, I've been playing video games, much like I am wont to do. I got the tabletop binge, and I said, fuck it. I bought Rogue Trader.
Okay, is it any good?
It is so fun.
Good shit.
I think it might be a bit too throwing of proper nouns at you if you don't know absolutely anything about Warhammer at all, but if you have even a base knowledge, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. I saw it being compared to Baldur's Gate 3 early on, and obviously nothing's going to compare favorably to Baldur's Gate, but the person doing it said, I love how awful all of the party members are and how comfortable they are with being awful.
Very quickly early on, Rick, I was losing my shit because some of the options you've got are just the most evil shit ever, and I'm glad that they're in the game because it fits with Warhammer 40k so well. You can talk to one of your people and just be like, yeah, who would love a mutant like you? And that's just an option you can pick. And it's just, I didn't pick it because I'm not a dick, but, you know, if you want to roleplay a proper fucking pro-Imperium character, you can do that. In fact, there are at least 3 party members I've already unlocked who will super be into that.
Yeah, who would have said that themselves if they were the main character, you know?
Yeah, so I've beaten the prologue and I've beaten chapter 1. I honestly, actually, so far I'm having more fun with this than I did with Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is prettier, but this feels like more of an interactive experience. It feels like you have more options that matter.
Sure.
I obviously haven't finished Rogue Trader. It could fucking shit the bed. And by no means am I slagging off Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game.
Yeah. So what, your starting kit is a lot more expanded and interactive, I guess, right?
No, not even that. It's like, okay, when you first get control after the prologue, you're thrown into a star system. There are 3 places to go realistically, because that's which have quests. I went to one place first. I then went to another place, and you've got blue dialogue in the dialogue that's thrown at you in the narration, and you hover over it, and what that is it's a consequence, and it's, you didn't go here first, so this shit happened off screen.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like it's a bit more immersive than Baldur's Gate 3. Now, bear in mind, again, not throwing shade at Baldur's Gate. Love that game. Definitely deserved Game of the Year. But this is definitely a lot more niche. It doesn't look anywhere near as pretty, and it looks like Baldur's Gate 1, like it top down, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, in Baldur's Gate, you can experience almost everything on one playthrough.
Sure.
Apart from like obvious little interactions, there are basically 2 ways to do it, like all good and all evil, and even then, a lot of the content's the same. So yeah, you're saying even from the first choice, things are going to change your world state.
Yeah, because I didn't know that before choosing my first thing. Like, even landing on my first place, it said, you came here first, that's why things aren't shit.
Sweet.
The second place I went to was a prison world, and there's another character visiting that world. And because I went there second, that character got captured and maimed.
Oh boy.
So I assume if you go there first, you probably bump into him before you go into the prison proper, and you can prevent that. I'm assuming. I don't actually know. For all I know, this could just be very well done DM trickery of, it looks like shit happens, but it doesn't. I haven't done a second playthrough. I'm not going to until I've done my first.
Sure.
You've got 3... They're not morality, but it's like, this is your belief system. Like, you can either go full-on Imperium, you can go Heretic, and you can go Iconoclast. So,
yeah.
Obviously, Imperium is your fucking big for big emps. Heretical is chaos, and no one should ever do that unless they want to be dedicated to evil. And Iconoclast is basically like, I'm not a heretic, but I kind of value people more than the Emperor.
Yeah, basically the way that the Emperor wanted the universe to be.
I'm playing my character as, he worships the Emperor, or rather the mainline religion. He's not chaotic, but he will make decisions that prioritize saving lives over following the religious doctrine.
Sure, yeah, that's pretty good.
Which is cool, because that means both the heretical crew members and the dogma, I think that's what they call the dogmatic, that's it, dogmatic party members, both kind of don't like me, but they kind of don't hate me.
Sure. So you can still unlock dialogue with them at least.
I mean, no one's left or anything. I made a choice at the end of Chapter 1, which was saving a bunch of people. And on my team at that point was literally an Inquisitor's assistant. And the Inquisitor is like, this is your ship and you're a rogue trader. You can do what you want. You shouldn't do this. And then later on, when that decision bit me in the arse, he just goes, I fucking warned you. Except he said it with a bit more class than that. I really hope he rejoins the party. I really like using him. But yeah, I can gush about this game all day, but I just want to finish on one point. The Chapter 1 end boss, I really appreciated. Do you know what it was?
Probably not a greater demon.
No. It's similar vein, but so much better, because I feel like people don't respect it enough. It was a single Chaos Space Marine.
Oh boy, yeah. Space Marines are not to be left at. Chaos Space Marines are they're OG Space Marines that have stayed alive in some form or other for this long. Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Yeah, they are. I did get... Oh, dude, this game punished me so hard for my playstyle as well. I focus on cover a lot. I keep my team in cover and slowly advance, because that's just how I play strategy games. One of the fights had a hard time limit of, there was one turn. You need to kill X amount of things in a turn, and that gives you more turns. And I didn't realise that was the mechanic for the first time, so I failed. Second time, I didn't move anywhere near fast enough. I failed again. I failed for a third time, and then I was like, nah, fuck it, I just can't stick to cover in this map.
Yep.
But, you know...
It's gotta be all balls to the wall.
Yeah, man, like, it's very rare that a game forces me to change my strategy, because, you know, I play very conservatively, I play very safe.
Yeah.
I can't recommend this game enough. I think if you don't like reading, you'll hate this game.
I'm guessing it's not quite as deeply voice acted as some other recent things.
It is so voiced. It has so much voice work in it, but not everything is. And also, they don't voice the narration.
Okay.
So unless the character is super... If the character has a name, chances are they're voiced. But there are some scenes that aren't voiced because, it's just a lore dump and narration isn't. You get this awkward moment where I can read faster than I can listen, and there's breaks in the dialogue for narration for what the character is doing, and then it starts talking again, but they don't pause the voice line for the break for the action.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to read what the action is while also listening to them talk the next line.
Sure.
So by no means perfect, but I'm really enjoying it. If you like this type of game, I think you'll enjoy it as well. I'm at level 16 at the end of chapter 1.
Okay.
It seems that every chapter is probably 16 levels. That's just me taking a guess.
Sure. Do you know what the level cap is, or...?
16, 32, at least 48.
Okay, so maybe 50.
Maybe 50, but at the moment, you sign yourself a base class type thing, and each rank is 16 ranks, and then you move on to a different class, or different subclass, which is usually more advanced. And so far it's been 16, 32, and I assume the last one's going to be another lot of 16, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
Sure.
So yeah, I think it's fun. Big recommend. It is another TTRPG, but video game.
Yeah, cool. That's got me actually excited.
You ready for some news?
Yeah, let's go.
A bridge got fucked in America.
Yeah, it did. I forgot about this. I forgot that it was this week. But yes, a boat ran into it. The whole thing fell down. Multiple people are still missing.
Yeah, it's a tragedy and no one should make light of it. However, let's look at the Republicans. You see, immediately when this happened, a bunch of people who will say lean right, and that's putting it mildly, jumped onto Twitter to complain that the person driving the boat was probably a DEI. And then the mayor of Baltimore came out on TV to assess the damage and give a report, as mayors are meant to do. And then they said he is a DEI. Rick, I don't know what DEI means, so I had to look it up. It means diversity, equity, and inclusion. Basically, what they want to do is they want to call these people another word, but know they'll get shit on if they use that word, and rightly so. So instead, they're stealing another term that is meant to, for those of you who don't know, diversity, equity, and inclusion is a metric people use when hiring people. So basically, they look at the amount of people who apply to them, and if they're getting 50% of people who apply, this is just an argument, this isn't real. If they get 50% applying to them who are black or lesbian or other minority, but only 5% of their workforce are made up of people from those backgrounds, that means there's a problem, because that means there's probably a bias. That's, of course, assuming they've all got the same skill set, which, if you're working at a fucking supermarket, you do.
Yeah. It's really scummy that they've just picked on that, as opposed to, the fact that people have died,
Yeah, man, it's weird. And it doesn't help that you got fucking... I can't believe I'm bringing this fucker up about a bridge fucking getting crashed into. Fucking Musk is basically highlighting posts on Twitter of everyone saying, conspiracy, this can never happen, ever. It must be a coordinated effort to destroy America.
Yeah.
Here's this tragedy that's occurred, and immediately people are like, we must politicize this to have a go at black people of all things.
To repair or rebuild is probably going to take minimum 5 years, probably 7. And that's how long Baltimore is going to be without its major bridge.
I just want to point out, I don't think anyone who's not from the States can fully appreciate, even from the images of the aftermath, just how fucking big this bridge was.
Oh, yes. I heard... just in passing, in text, a bridge fell down. And then I came home and it was on the news. And, oh boy, multiple segments. And as soon as one goes, it loses tension and the whole thing falls down. It's spectacular in one of those horrifying ways.
We live in an age where everyone has a camera on them. And
yes.
It means there is footage of just the actual incident occurring. And it is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's be real, at this point in time, I highly doubt any of the people missing are alive, in a recoverable state. It's not impossible. It's very unlikely.
Yeah, if someone's missing for this amount of time after going into essentially freezing cold water.
Wow, it's one of those. Hope for the best, but honestly, brace yourself for the worst.
Yeah.
Rick, are you ready for some other shit news?
Oh, Jesus. Let's have a go.
Did you think I'd be speaking about darts again so soon?
No, no, I wouldn't.
Okay, cool. Let's fucking buckle down and get into this. There's a transgender darts player, Rick, who won a female competition, and everyone is fucking annoyed by it because not a biological woman, blah blah blah, and it's just it's so fucking dumb, especially when it's darts, which doesn't need to be segregated by gender anyway.
Yeah.
This is a whole fucking shit show, man, because you got Martina Navratilova, who's a fucking tennis player, fucking complaining about it. It's so weird. 2 Dutch players have resigned from the women's team over it. If anything, this is just showcasing the fact that, hey, stop splitting certain sports by gender.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said this for a while, Rick. I even said it on the podcast, but unfortunately it was a segment that got cut because it was a bit of a tangent at the time. When it comes to sport, they should just get rid of the gender divide and do weight classes for certain events.
Yeah.
And that would solve 95% of the issues.
Like, obviously it wouldn't solve, like, distribution errors, but yeah, it would solve a lot of problems.
Well, this is what I'm saying. 95% of the problems go away. Oh goodness, how many times in recent years in particular have you had female athletes immediately accused of being men because they won an event by a large margin, and then it turns out they're not, and this woman has had to be humiliated behind the scenes just to prove she is in fact a woman?
Yeah, it's...
And if you don't fucking believe me, look it up. I can guarantee you there's probably been at least 2 stories this year alone.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
There's not a lot I can say to it. It's just depressing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Separate things by rate category, and I think you'd be fine. I think one of the issues is you'd have certain weight
pure combat.
Well, combat is its own fucking murky mess that I'm not touching and painting with this brush. That is something someone more eloquent and better educated on the topic will have to deal with. But for non-combat sports, I don't see why you can't just separate it by weight class. The only issue being, yes, chances are the heavier weight classes will probably be dominated by men, because men are typically heavier.
Yeah.
But likewise, women are typically lighter, so therefore the lighter should see just as many women winning as men, in theory.
Yeah.
And also, it means you can get rid of the pay gap between female and male athletes, because they're all competing for the same fucking pot.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I put away the soapbox, Rick? Do you think it's time?
Yeah, let's step down from it.
Rick, what are we doing today?
We're doing Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, Episode 1, The Bubbler, available on Netflix. If you'd like to join us along at home, it's 3, 2, 1, and go.
In case you didn't know, it was France.
Yeah, it's France. And we get the opening with the little bit of narration that tells you exactly how the show goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, our main villain has a Lady Maria house.
Oh, okay, sure. Man, I'll just say it, like, having luck as a superpower is pretty cool.
It is, though, isn't it?
It's pretty much the gimmick of every halfling. Camembert do stink.
It does, yeah.
Nothing worse than at work when you're looking in the cheese fridge and you're like, something stinks. Oh, there's an open pack of Camembert somewhere. Can't find it, but it's here.
Someone's bought some stinky cheese.
Man, that's some blackmail, ain't it?
It is a bit.
Kids are weird.
They are a bit. So yeah, he's the son of the villain.
Ah. It's like, man, my job is not to fucking be your mother.
True enough. However, she definitely cares about him more than his dad does.
It seems to be quite a low bar, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm very, very reminiscent of Violet at the end of The Incredibles, or beginning of The Incredibles, I should say.
A little bit, actually, yeah. I do love, like, the over-exaggerated animations.
Yeah, it's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Rarity.
Not even. Way worse.
Man, if he wanted to, he could. But what we're learning is he can get all the puss if he wants it.
Yeah, because apparently he's good looking.
It's hard to tell with the art style because everyone kind of looks the same.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's kind of, like, generically decent looking.
A lot of the girl characters have got very accentuated butts. Which is probably what the creator's fetish is.
Arses and spandex.
Speaking of the creator, I did notice in the opening credits it did credit Toei Animation.
Okay.
So, don't know what they did on this, but apparently they worked on it.
Yeah, I've not noticed that, actually. Oh, yeah, he's a model.
Oh. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Man, I know I've been doing it a lot lately, but again, another character that gives me big Ryuji vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. What if the person who is what I want to actually talk to answers?
Ah, okay, so there's no way of opening the box without being let to open the box.
Mm-hmm. I assume the postman can also get into the box.
No, I assume the postman has to do the exact same shit.
Oh, maybe so.
Speaking of voice actors, that sounds like fucking Shido.
Yeah, it's Keith Sealstein, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it literally is.
Oh, okay.
Shido.
Well, that's why it sounds like him. Okay, cool. I feel vindicated.
Yep.
That is a lot of things to make a kid do.
Yeah, especially when he's also a model and also, unbeknownst to him, one of the city's main superheroes.
Yeah.
That was a bit of an Anne Robinson vibe, wasn't it? Oh, what a good kid.
Yeah, instead of a vape, he's blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
Mind you, I imagine vapes didn't exist when this, or at least weren't as mainstream when this show first came out.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck me, it really is fucking Astral Clock Tower.
It really
shit.
is Shido, yeah. Yes, Astral Clock Tower and Shido.
It's even got the blue butterfly. For those of you who don't know, Okuma means demon.
Yeah. It's one of the many things that means demon.
Japan has so many cool words for demon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he's the bubbler.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't think a single person has ever turned him down whenever he's given them the option to become a villain.
It doesn't seem like it's actually an option to me, but that's just from one instance.
I've seen one where I said before we started that a lot of these are one-shot villains.
Yeah.
a returning villain has heard it all before, and she just goes, yes, Hawkmoth, just give me the powers.
Wow, fair enough then. I'm going to assume it's the bitch from school.
It's not her, but it is an actual... She's a returning villain, both in and out of costume.
Fair enough. So it's interesting that they're already established heroes, isn't it? Usually get an origin for the first episode.
Yeah. So when I ended up watching episode 2, I just kind of had to accept things, and then turns out, no, episode 1's just like that as well.
I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting a magical girl transformation.
Yeah. So I think Cat Noir gets one as well.
Kinky. Man, he even looks like a persona.
He does. If it weren't for the fact that he had an animated face, he would look like a shadow as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they go home for lunch break.
I guess that must be a French thing.
Yeah. Like not having a cafe on campus.
I will say, just completely unrelated, Natalie is probably the hottest character.
Yeah. So Adrian knows that it's Nino even when he's blue.
He does sound the same.
He does. And he kind of acts the same.
Okay.
Basically, he doesn't care if the villains win.
He's just fucking
wants to
watching
have a
from
fight.
his tower, and it's making me fucking... I can't take him seriously. Does he ever actually do fuck all, or does he just watch?
I don't think so. He does eventually, get some amount of success.
Okay.
But I don't think it's because he actually goes away.
Bubbless sounds like such a supervillain name, though. It's like they saw the Whittler and went, let's just do that with Bubbles.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically that for, like, all I can think of is things like Clock King and Calendar Man.
Calendar Man's actually a real problem. Like, people take a piss because his name's dumb, but he's actually a real fucking issue.
Yeah. Weaponized autism.
Like, the only reason why he's not as a bigger problem is because he insists on doing things during specific dates.
Yeah.
Which means Batman has all the time in the world to be like, okay, Christmas is coming up. I need to prepare for Calendar Man.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's going to see the fucking pair dancing and get distracted.
Yeah, she is.
Because that's what happens to teenage heroes. I love that. That's too real.
Yeah, shying away from being kissed.
Okay.
Yeah,
so because her power's luck, she just gets whatever she needs. Gotcha. So those of you who don't... Oh, go on.
She gets highlighted exactly what she needs to do, or at least hints thereof.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, ladybugs are considered lucky, specifically in Japanese mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's got a time limit.
Yeah, I think that's the main drama, the main driving drama early on.
Okay, so the lucky charm is basically a game ender, but she can't keep her form up after. Okay, that's pretty interesting drawbacks.
Yeah, it's like a finishing move.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Cat Noir being a black cat means that his powers are probably the opposite, and he can make bad luck happen to the enemy.
I believe so.
Did she just fucking steal a bunch of cookies?
Yeah. I think she's got the cookies to feed to the ladybird.
Ah. Yeah, fair.
Whereas Cat Noir's one just eats cheese.
Explain to Camembert.
Yeah.
Why else would you put up with that horrible stench?
I mean, it is premium.
Yeah.
Fun, mandatory.
There is nothing worse than mandatory fun. So do Catbug and not Catbug, Ladybug and Cat Noir not know each other's secret identities then?
No, they don't.
Ah, okay.
And that's, like, even multiple seasons later, they still don't.
Fair. That's some fucking anime bullshit right there.
It is. It's great.
That is a much cooler saying to transform.
Yeah, Spot
Look at him
sort of
doing
claws
fucking
out, yeah.
Jotaro poses!
Yeah.
I'm glad they clarified that the tail is a belt.
Yeah, not a butt plug.
Oh, he's got a bow staff! Oh no,
Yeah,
that makes
he's
him
Robin.
10 times cooler!
Yep. Yeah, he's Nightwing.
Well, my default always goes to Gambit, but yeah, Nightwing's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Or Donatello.
Yeah, well, Gambit doesn't just have the staff, he can throw exploding cards.
Yeah, I know, but it's still cool bow staff shit.
Yeah.
Except for that one time in the X-Men movie where I swear he used it as a helicopter. I can't remember if I'm making...
Well, like the Inquisitors.
I think I might be getting it confused with some Star Wars dumb fucks.
Yeah, the frickin' Jobber Inquisitors.
Yeah. Man, here's the message for the episode, eh?
Yeah. Kids need to be kids, but they really do need to, have parents to, exist in the world.
It's like that Tumblr post of, I'm an adult now. No one told me that I can't eat an entire cake, so I bought an entire cake, and then about 30 minutes later they said, I have made a tremendous mistake, and now see why they told me not to eat an entire cake.
Yeah, this is why you don't eat an entire cake for dinner.
Okay. So I'm guessing that's the Miraculous title then?
Yeah, Miraculous are the little creatures that turn them into beasties. Into heroes.
Why has he got such edgy fucking animations for everything he does?
But yeah, I guess that's his bad luck powers, I assume.
Look at this video game move. He's got a little bell around his neck.
He does.
Look at this fetish gear. Oh!
So you can hear him coming. Yeah, it seems that evil is addictive.
Yeah. This is the thing, is if he flung one of those fire bubbles straight at the actual kids he captured, that would just immediately take out that fucking factor in that they would be dead.
Yes.
Oh shit, we haven't picked a bad time. This isn't going to involve the destruction of a bridge, is it?
I don't think so.
I think it's going to be the Eiffel Tower, isn't it?
It's kind of brown, so yeah.
Okay. Alright, she must be strong as shit to be able to do that.
Yeah, she is. Especially in, like, hero form, at least. So they both know how their powers work, so, like, he's even said, I'm going to change back in a bit.
Yeah. Is it Cardcaptor Sakura now?
Yeah.
Fuck me, like,
Catch it in a yo-yo.
if you're gonna take fucking inspiration from shit, like, take it from the classics, for sure.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's the most OP power as well, just to return everything to the way that it was before everything went to shit.
Also, her dad is fucking built as fucking, like, a brick shithouse.
Yeah, he is.
Like, this is actually a problem zooming in on him, because he's got like a million fucking moths to just do this all day, every day. He's gonna win at least one eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, that bitch!
Yep.
Hot she may be, but a total asshole.
Asshole.
At least, is the gift at least going to be obviously not from the father?
Almost certainly.
Ah, okay.
She's going off the freaking desk.
Oh, the implication, exactly, man. Oh, she fucking knitted it as well, fuck.
Yeah. Well, she did say earlier that she made it.
Sure. Listen, this episode's kind of been going a mile a minute.
Yeah, that's the kind of a thing with this series. You don't really get a lot of breathing time.
Matt, you can see the anime influence everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
God damn. And the fucking credits are at least short. They're fucking almost done already.
Yeah, done already. Yep.
But yeah. Fuck yeah, there you go. Toei Animation with their dumb fucking teddy bear / mouse logo. It looks like
the Teddy Mouse. Yeah.
It looks a bit fucking Speedy Gonzales. Just a little bit,
doesn't it? Man, with the hat on and everything.
Like, for real, man.
It's the hat that makes it look like Speedy Gonzales.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the episode. You know what I'm going to ask you, Rick? What did you think?
I like this show. And I'm hoping you do too. It's one of those things. I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes from season 1. I've seen clips from further on in the show. It's the kind of thing that if I had more time, this would be my comfort food show, as it were. It's not going to replace things like The Owl House or Amphibia or even like old school My Little Pony, but like it's getting there, you know?
Sure.
But yeah, how about you? What did you think of this?
I liked it quite a bit. I don't know. Here's the thing. If it's a Villain of the Week show, I don't know how long it will take for me to just get a bit sick sick of it, because, I mean, I love Power Rangers, but have you ever tried to watch 10 episodes of Power Rangers in a row?
Yes, I too was once 8.
Okay, have you ever done it as an adult?
No. I know that it would not go well. Trying to marathon the whole Green with Evil saga would not go well.
I'll probably watch more of this. I don't know when, I don't know why, but I probably will. It wasn't a bad show, and again, I think this will be like the 5th time I've said it. The anime influences are apparent throughout.
Yeah, I even said really early on, I really love the exaggerated animations. You even get it in the opening sequence when Marinette's just exasperated at Chloe getting with Adrian.
Yeah. And I've got to be honest with you, I said it from the get-go, having luck as a superpower, whether that be creating good luck for yourself or bad luck, is an interesting gimmick. It's even more interesting by the fact that it has a built-in proper limit.
Yes, having the limit is what makes it not a story breaker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not quite a one-for-one paralogue, but it's like Escanor being the toughest motherfucker in the world, but only for 1 minute of a day.
Yeah.
But during that 1 minute, don't go near him.
Yeah.
Let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Do you have a standout favourite moment?
My actual favourite moment was when we heard Hawkmoth speak for the first time, and you went, "Man, is that Shido?" Because there's a lot of good voice talent in this, and just realizing someone who is very easily typecasted villains being another really maybe not as imposing as others, but influential villain. It was a great moment for me that you were able to pick that up immediately.
Well, I think it was slightly better than that, because I didn't say, is that Shido? I went, man, that sounds a lot like Shido. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you went, that's because it is. And I was like, like just joy radiating off.
Yeah. So that was my actual favourite moment. How about you? What was your favourite moment?
I can't pick between the two, so I'm going to cheat slightly and give it to both. And that was, I actually really like the transformation sequences.
Yeah. Be prepared to see that exact same animation multiple times, copy-pasted during the show.
That is the problem.
You can't see the transformation sequence for the first time again.
Yeah. Dude, I'm a veteran. I saw Sailor Moon. I know it has to happen at least once, possibly twice an episode.
We've also seen She-Ra.
That's true, yeah, but I think Sailor Moon is a bit more of the classic one to point to.
Yeah, at least She-Ra changes the end result and the music sometimes.
We can't only talk about the good, we also have to talk about the bad. Do you have a weakest link?
I think it was that some of the pacing was a bit quick. Not everything is gone into. Like, they show that Marinette is of mixed race by showing her parents, but they don't, talk about it at all. They show that Adrian basically only has a father, but they don't talk about it at all.
Okay, Rick. The rule is show, don't tell, so therefore...
Yeah. So, some of these things could be saved for a more slice-of-lifey episode, I assume, in the future, but, at the moment, we've had things go, like you said, a mile a minute for a lot of it. But even then, like you say, some of it is just show, don't tell at this point. So how about you? What would be your weakest link?
At the moment, we've had it's kind of the same as yours, to be honest. We've got a very limited view for the actual characters going forward. We've got a good feel for our main two protagonists. We've got Ladybug and Cat Noir and their alter egos. We've got a general gist of the big villain, and that's about it. And I think the reason for that is quite apparent with you saying Villain of the Week, because I assume a lot of the quote-unquote background characters are probably going to get mouthed up in this first season at some point or another, and that's when we learn more about them.
Yeah. I'm sure Chloe gets mouthed up a couple of times, and has a couple of times where she's not quite so bad.
Yeah, absolutely, as any good story should do so. No character should be entirely evil, no character should be entirely good, unless it's your big bad, in which case they can just be a piece of shit.
And sometimes it's refreshing when they're just a piece of shit.
God damn, is it? Oh, I'm so sick of sympathetic villains.
I'm not.
A guy not just be a Nazi. Can we not just have a story where the story ends with Nazi gets put in the ground and no one wept a single tear?
But they saw that Vegeta was so well received, so now all villains have to be Vegeta.
I don't even think Vegeta started it. I think it's been a thing for ages. There's no single example to point to. It just feels like it's been more prevalent lately, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, let's end on a high note, shall we, Rick? Who gets your MVP for the first episode of Ladybug?
The animation team. I've gushed about it multiple times during this react and during the cooldown. The animations are just so addictive. I don't think this show would be anywhere as well received as it is without that amount of polish right from episode 1. So I'm giving it to the animators, the animation team. How about you? What was your MVP?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect compliment to yours, because I'm going to give it to the voice director / the voice cast Voice caster, the person who chooses to cast. Fuck, there's a word for it and I've forgotten it. Rick, help.
The voice director.
The voice director doesn't usually do the casting. It's usually a different person.
I think they've got a voice in it. They might have the main voice in it. But yeah, the voice director, the voice cast in general. I don't think there was a bum voice in the entire episode.
Yeah, even disregarding the voices we were familiar with, I think the voice actor for both Ladybug and Cat Noir, and yes, I will call them that because I've forgotten their civvy names.
Yeah, Marinette and Adrian.
We're spot on, which is good because they're clearly the two main characters, and it would suck if they sucked.
I do also like the change in tone when they become their hero forms. They both become far more confident than they are in their civilian forms, and it's just a great way to showcase the voice talent that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I get you. It's an important. It's the age-old thing of it's easier to act like yourself when you have the mask on.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think that about does it today. Thanks for joining us for the first episode of Ladybug and Cat Noir. I think we're both fairly high on it. Let us know what you thought of the first episode and whether or not you think we should actually, in our own time, look at all 6 seasons and 2 movies and Christmas special on Netflix.
And probably more. I know one of the seasons has just dropped recently, so there is that.
So yeah, give us your thoughts in the comments down below. Alternatively, we know you're not all watching via YouTube. Some of you are listening, and we appreciate you. And you can talk to us as well by sending us an email at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Join us again next week, guys.
Bye.